I'm not wasting any time.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna wait. No, I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna just get on it right now because this is Talking Winter with Swinner.
Yeah.
Number 2 of our
part two of two
of our on location recording with the one and only Jason Porto, president of Ground Builders Inc. here in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Man,
and local celebrity.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I tell you what, if you didn't listen to number 1, go back and listen to it. We got some history on Jason, his company, how he got to where he is, how awesome it is now.
How he manages his celebrity status.
Dude, you talk through the reverb.
My bad.
Dude.
Let's start over.
No, I'm not doing that. God. You should know by now, but you don't. That's fine. That's fine. That's only, 87 or 90 episodes or whatever it is?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what, though? That's the first time I've done that, so.
That's fair. Porto's like, what are you talking about, dude? Anyway, it's fine. How are you?
The local celebrity here has never done a podcast like this, so this is quite interesting. My first time in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Actually, a restaurant I do go to a lot, so it's going to be a little weird if people ask me about this later.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Next time you come in, they're going to be like, what the hell were you doing with the headphones and the mic and all
I'm
that?
going to say I don't know.
You're going to say, I can't tell you. Those guys are from the government.
Right. No, well, yeah, the best answer
I
is,
hope I see you tomorrow.
man, this is part of witness protection. I can't really talk about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You know, but no, here we are at the Woodcliff restaurant on Woodcliff Lake in beautiful Fremont, Nebraska.
Yep.
Which, I mean, like, not even kidding. This is pretty up here.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, when we pulled through the gate,
which they let us in, which is first. I mean, that was
the gate was
nice.
open, so we just drove right in. I don't know if there's like an ID thing or whatever, but we just passed that up.
No, I don't think so. I think we're good, man. I think it's all right. So, yeah, so we're here, and yeah, you know, so fun fact about our podcast is, and I was telling Porto this earlier, but I'm going to tell you know what, I'm going to say dozens and hundreds of y'all.
Yeah.
That are listening now. Like for the last couple years, it's we've done this sporadically here and there without any real like uniformity to it, and we've always we've talked about our both of our listeners, and today I checked and we haven't hit the 1,000 mark yet for monthly downloads, but we are getting damn close.
Yep,
and that's pretty neat. So you know what, we didn't do it all in the last one. We didn't say anything about how to get a hold of us. That was dumb.
Oh, you're right. We didn't. We just talked about Sima.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, we ought to do that. So we should, if you want to be on the show, or if you want to send us information, or you've got a topic you want to hear about or something like that,
that's right.
Let us know. podcast@swintergroup.com. It's a great way to get to us. Shoot us an email. Let us know what's going on.
Somebody will eventually read your email. And
eventually, at some point. Oh,
what are we doing here?
What's up? We are. This is a podcast about.
It sounds like an investment plan.
No, dude.
No, it is, dude.
If we had any money, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So no, we're in the snow and ice management business. We're out of St. Louis, Missouri. Jason Porto here of Ground Builders is the local celebrity and business owner.
That's not a lot of my competitors.
Oh, is it?
I've only been doing snow since '95.
Snow since '95. That's all.
When I was 6.
That's it.
Well, I've been doing it since '94 when I had like a shovel.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right on.
A shovel.
Well, you know what we should do? We should get your name and number and call you at some point and come back and talk to you. Are you a local celebrity, though?
I'm just a lawn guy.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
I've only been doing it since I was born.
Yeah.
That's funny. So so I have a customer that we did a seawall for that claims he's like the snow king.
Oh, really?
Al Friedman. He's out of Flatwater.
Yeah.
So every lawsuit.
We're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep that on the down low. I don't know that anybody heard the name, so we're gonna leave that alone. But yeah. No, I don't know him. So, but yeah. No. So no, here we are.
He tried to start like just doing ice melt in Omaha, which he's from Seattle, like is where he started it. He thinks that he's just gonna do ice melt. I'm like, pretty much anybody in the lawn and landscape business that does snow does their own damn ice melt.
Yeah.
I'm not hiring you to do the ice melt.
Yeah. So how, did it work out
For what now?
for him? Is he still just doing ice melt, or does he get a plow now?
His first year was last year, and I think he had nothing to do.
Ah,
So
fair
I
enough.
would say no.
Got it. Fair enough. Right on.
But yeah, it's every city is a different. Some places have no ice. Like you go to Denver and spread salt because it melts 5 minutes after it snows. And they don't, but then you come here and we have hills and weird temperatures.
There's a couple of hills in Denver. Like if you go just west of Denver, there's a hill or two over there.
For the most part, if you're not in the foothills,
Oh.
from the foothills to fucking Council Bluffs
Yep.
is flat.
Yep.
So they don't really have to.
We'll call it a gradual incline.
Just
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. There's a Space Force base there, though. That's pretty cool.
So what is are you guys are with?
Swinner Group and SG Advantage. So, all right. I'm muting you.
Yep. You muted you.
I muted me. Now I muted you. All right. I'm going to talk to Porto then. You guys chit chat. Yeah. So, say what? Oh, there you go. So, yeah, man. So, yeah. So we're recording live right here. So, yeah. So that's. Well, that was a gentle way of saying GTFO, but that's cool. There's no harm, no foul. So, but what the hell's going on over there with those weird dudes in briefcases and? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's us.
Well,
yeah.
At least you're here.
It was nice meeting you. Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah, man. You too. We'll see you. Yep. So, perfect. So, you know what? This is the advantage of on-location recording. You never know what's going to happen. So, here he is, right?
It's exciting.
It's exciting. So, yeah, man. So we were in the last one. We dropped off right after talking about using subcontractors. So I want to talk a little bit about your self-performing business, right? So like you got a bunch of trucks, you got a bunch of equipment, you got a bunch of people. How do you rally all that? I mean, how do you keep all that organized? I mean, what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of your self-performing operation?
Self-performing, it's interesting. It feels like when we get into a snow event, it feels like our self-perform work is a small piece of what we're doing.
Yeah.
There's just so much, because we keep it pretty isolated. I mean, on what we send our crews to, and I'm sure everybody feels this way when you get into a big snow event. You just never have enough people.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we I mean, we're not that big. We have like 45, 50 people. It's probably not that many in the wintertime with some of them, not wanting to work in the winter and things like that. But yeah, it's keeping it straight. I mean, now using your system, I used to have a huge series of spreadsheets and where routed and where things are going. We called, different people called it different things. It could be area managers. We call it zone managers. So we kind of break the city up into zones, and that person's then responsible for a list of equipment, list of people, scheduling and all that, and then our fleet team keeps everything up and moving, and that's keeping it organized. After the snow, I mean, we have a pretty detailed, regimented, what we call like a post-snow reset. So, and we have different types of resets depending on how much time we have, because sometimes it snows back to back. So we're just banging out, and sometimes
like this last January was a nightmare back to back.
So it's a lot of what we would call a partial reset, which is just basically do the minimum to get ready to go for the next one. And then we have what would be called a full reset, which is pulling salters, greasing, washing everything off. A detailed inventory of everything.
Yep. Now, would you say that you have more bodies self-performing or more bodies subcontracting?
Subcontracting. For
More
sure.
bodies subcontracting. Okay, got it. Okay, so because I was wondering if how much of that, if it feels like the self-performing operation is smaller just because it runs smoother, or if it was just because it was less bodies, but it's probably maybe both, or is it more just less?
We can count on so it's actually because we've got a really good group. So like in general, most of our guys that work for us, like they're freaking workhorses, animals. Like then they don't quit. Like if we need to get something done, they get it done. When a subcontractor and maybe a little bit less to lose. I know now we have these contracts, but before that it was just like we're done, man. I'm tired. Our guys could be counted on to get everything done and get done a lot more to the standards that we want. But it does feel it is a vast majority more of subcontractors. Like I want to say it's like 200 to 300 bodies moving every time it snows.
Yeah.
So I mean, us only having 50 employees. I mean, let's just say a lot of those are office people and stuff. So 20 on the ground.
Yeah.
It's really not that many.
Yeah. And we've got. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to a guy that's been he was with us for forever. Dave has been around forever. This past spring, he needed a bunch of surgery, and so he's been out all summer, and
well, he had been putting it off for years.
Oh yeah. But he was kind of our main guy that was that no matter what, he was there, and I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he's going to hang up the hat or not, but he's been a really big part of our company and our culture and our organization for a long time, and it's nice to have guys like that. That are out there bleeding with you.
Yeah,
so
willing to go to battle, and they're not going to quit.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely, man. That's awesome, and I think that really puts to what I call the clarity through the chaos, right? Is there's you get into the throes of a snow event, and man, there's just all kinds of stuff that's coming at you. I mean, you've got equipment breaking, you've got salt that freezes up that you can't move, you've got bag product that you run out of. I mean, you've got hydraulic lines breaking, you've got people falling asleep. You've got all of these problems, and somehow you manage to still make it through that. For us, it's been reliance on systems and organization and really good teamwork with our team that provides us that clarity in the chaos. Can you talk about your organization for you guys have been around a long time and doing this for a long time. How do you find your clarity through the chaos when there's a big snow event happening?
So, that's a good question. Naturally, I have always been fairly good at understanding that many hands make light work. Basically, that I'm a small piece of this puzzle that makes it function. So me out there trying to actively do work. I mean, I go out and plow snow, and I love plowing snow.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I have no problem. I don't mind shoveling sidewalks, but I'm doing it when I do it. It's because I have this understanding that I'm not really moving the needle here. I'm one person out of all these people. I am much more I can bring way more value to the table by helping lead the organization. And Jocko, I don't know if people know who that is, but he has this thing you need to elevate yourself. You have to take a 30,000 foot view of everything going on.
Yeah.
And you can't what's he call it? I can't remember, but basically you remove yourself from the situation so you can get a better view. If you're in the weeds, if you're in the battle, you're drowned out by everything going on. You can't see the issues.
Yeah, and I've always said that's more like working on your business rather than in your business. And so I think that's something that a lot of business owners eventually will get to the point where they realize, okay, we're at the point now where I need to work on this thing, not in it. Right? Yeah. I don't need to be in a plow truck pushing snow at 2 a.m. I need to be in a command center making sure all 200 of these properties are getting their snow pushed, right? So I think that's an epiphany I think that we gave to this guy yesterday.
We were talking with your guys yesterday and specifically about kind of the storm dashboard and how to.
Which guy?
So it was Ryan and Will. Ryan and Will were sitting there. There were others in the room, but Ryan specifically spoke up. He's like, "Man, I think if I had to sit at a computer for an entire snowstorm, I'd something about the barrel of a firearm.
He'd start his pistol.
That's what it was, something like that. And we were talking about just exactly what you said about how you've got somebody has to be at the helm, and I think the really good thing was that those guys all got it. They all understand that there's a time and a place, and
we all have a role.
Yeah, exactly.
We all have a role, and the light came on. I think when Ken said, "I get it. You like to be out in your plow truck. We all do. We'd all much rather be out working than sitting in front of a computer terminal managing a storm. However, what brings the most value to this organization?" And there was a long, awkward silence. Mm-hmm. Because he knew right then and there we had him. You know what I mean? We had him, and so I think he's starting to come around a little bit more.
They are. So it was challenging because it's always been a topic that I know they don't want, and I agree. I don't want to necessarily sit behind a computer the whole time it snows either. Right. But when I was leading the snow, when I didn't have Ryan or Will running it, they were out probably running areas or plowing snow. I would go to the shop, and I would have every intention of going out to plow snow at some point, but I knew that was the lowest priority, only if it was I had to, and I would avoid it as long as I could.
Yeah.
I mean, And then once, okay, my phone's not blowing up. I don't have much, no fire going on here. I'm not trying to fix a freaking hydraulic line in the shop real quick. Okay, I'm gonna hop my truck. I'm gonna head into town, and I might help, and I might just inspect properties. I might go roll up into somebody who's got a lot of chaos and just work through it and get a better map. But so like now that's Will's job. Will is what we call like the active event manager. So he's supposed to be doing that, and Ryan, being his boss, we're trying to get Ryan to where he can just be a support or backup. But he was involved in every event last year for the most part. I think every event, and. We set them up. They both don't want to just go sit in the office and do that. So we set them up so they can have their laptop set up in their truck comfortably, and if they have time, they can go plow. I think Will kind of threw the towel in on most of it, and just like there's just no way that's going to happen. And the only time he got to plow was when he was handling like a service call or something like that. But
I a few years ago was when I actually, it was probably Duncan. I think the year you started was probably the first year that I was in the office the whole time.
No, that first half of that season, you were at the hospital, Mercy South.
Oh yeah. So I was still out because same thing.
How long ago was that?
Last year. No, 2 seasons ago.
I love. I mean, that's why I'm in the business I'm in. Is I love pushing snow. I mean, that's what I live for, literally. But when I got set up at the office, and I got I've got the TV up on the wall, and that's running radar scope, and I've got SG Advantage on a monitor running where I'm looking at the dashboard, and then I'm looking at the live storm report, and I'm looking at cameras, and I've got all my stuff set up, and I found myself in a different level of comfort in that I knew exactly what was happening, and I was able to be anticipatory instead of reactionary, right? And so that was the first time that it happened. I mean, we've been using this system for 10 years now, and it was always, I look at it and kind of get a glimpse and see, is this okay? Yeah, it's okay, and I go back to work. But really having a handle on it was awesome, So I think that kind of speaks to how you find the clarity in the chaos. I mean, it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. I mean, 2 years ago for me, it was a glimpse every now and again, and trust that the management team had it, which they did, and that was fine. But it's it's something where having the ability to know what's going on for me was pretty cool. What throws a monkey wrench in that literally is maintenance, breakdowns, stuff like that, right? So here we go on the ambulance, right?
Yep.
So okay, last year. When I showed up at your shop, Jason, here in Nebraska, you're like, where's your shop? Your shop is like
so we're
northwest?
Yeah. So we're right in the north, mostly west, but a little bit on the north side of Omaha, in a town called Waterloo, which, I mean, if you live here, I mean, most would call it more a suburb, but Elkhorn area maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know there's a volunteer fire department.
Yep.
That when there's
so it's its own jurisdiction.
Yeah. When there's a call, the like tornado siren sound thing has a certain number of buzzes that for different types of events, right? Is that
exactly? Yep.
We learned that yesterday. Yep. So. Anyway,
that was interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, there's no volunteer fire where we are, so I was looking around like I was like, are we under attack? Like, do we need to go find a shelter somewhere? Like, what's happening? And Jason, the account manager, Jason's like, no, it's the volunteer fire. I'm like, you got to explain that, dude. Anyway, it's fine. So, but no, so I show up a little more than a year ago, and there's an ambulance sitting there, right? But all of the red and blue lights have been replaced with amber and white, and it's lettered up ground builders, but it's a legit, no kidding ambulance, right? And I'm like, what is that? And so tell us about your ambulance. What is that?
So we have our lead mechanic. He is old school, and we had a service truck, not a well-equipped service truck for a lot of years, and our lead mechanic is a little bit of an older gentleman and was helping us with this first snow season and wrapped it up and realized it's very cold outside when you're trying to fix stuff on the side of the road or wherever you're out in the parking lot. And he pitched the idea, why don't we buy a decommissioned ambulance and use it as a service truck? Because then we have kind of like a little heated almost shop area. So, I mean, it sounded like a cool idea. I couldn't believe how actually cheap they were. I don't think there's a great market for used ambulances, so it kind of
Really?
works out good for what we want. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I would have thought that they'd be crazy expensive.
I mean, who wants them? I guess.
I'm you know what? I want one.
Well, there you go.
Well, yeah. This was going to start my course of politicking to get an ambulance.
Get an ambulance.
As a mobile field rig
It
at
is
our
pretty
shop.
cool, and the horn's really fun.
Yeah.
And
Right.
We used it. Our little town does a Halloween festival thing, so we always take it to that and decorate it and stuff. Let kids run in there and get candy.
Yes, that would be awesome.
But so yeah, he wanted to do that, so we outfitted it.
I usually do that in a windowless van.
Dude. God.
You can't do it in spring and call it Halloween.
Jesus. True. We just turned off his mic. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for Senior Dungan. Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
So I think he's got a welder in there. We've got a hose machine in there for hydraulics.
Whoa! Like a gas driven welder, or how you running a welder?
He's got a MIG welder, and I think there's a generator in there. No. I can't remember if it's got a big inverter on it or it's a generator in there. But
wow,
I would imagine they have the big
It's not very
inverters
small.
because most ambulances have in the back part, right? They have
There's
outlets to run
110 power.
emergency stuff or
of
whatever.
course they would.
Yeah.
It's not a big welder, but there is a welder in there.
But you can at least Band-Aid a plow to get it back to the shop.
Something like that. Yep. And then the hose machine's in there, and then he's got a diesel fuel tank for filling up equipment if he needs to. It had an onboard air compressor that we just put a huge tank on it, so he's got a hose and all that stuff. So it kind of works
awesome.
out good. So if you got to fix something, you can get inside, or at least have somewhere to kind of hop in and chat and game plan something, or pop a cylinder off and put a new hose on it inside, so you're not trying to do it all outside.
That's awesome. And so folks, pay attention to that. I mean, that's like thinking outside the box.
Oh, absolutely.
I got to fix stuff when it's cold. I'd like to be inside. How do I solve this problem?
Yeah. I fell in love with it as soon as I saw it.
That's awesome.
I started making a game plan of how I'm going to talk you into getting one for our shop.
Yeah.
Dude, that's Kyle's job.
I thought it was really cool. I didn't think about it, but because it's got the red and blue lights, you're not supposed to use that as just a civilian. So, and Ryan went online and somehow found the exact amber replacement lenses for it, and it worked out pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. So in my maintenance tips and tricks here from Senior Porto, find an ambulance, turn it into a mobile, fix-it truck, because that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's way, way, way cool. So, yeah, man, that's awesome. So Jason, what do you have questions for us? Is there things that we can answer for you that you would want to ask in front of the peeps, or things that you think other people might want to know that we can talk about? Or
sure. You didn't preface this, but I can sure come up with
not to put you on the spot or nothing. But
how are you guys recruiting your subcontractors?
Okay, so we've been we do a ton of word of mouth. So the contractors that we work with, when I was growing up, my grandmother told me a really something that stuck with me. She's like, show me your friends and you'll show me yourself, right? So, birds of a feather tend to flock together, kind of thing, right? And so the best contractors that we work with, we talk to them. Hey, who do you work with? Who do you know? Who runs a business like you do? People tend to gravitate to other people like themselves, and so we try to do the best we can to network with the people that we already work with. And then beyond that, there's social media stuff that we run that we talk about. Where we need this or we need that. We try to find people like that. We use yard signs, believe it or not.
Really?
As simple as that is. Snow removal subcontractors need them. And then find places where subs are and stick them out. So
what's like an onboarding process? So I'm sure you probably get more than you need applying, or how do they apply? And how do you process that?
We get a lot that apply and few that get hired. And so for us, what'll happen is when they come in, there's a lot is in the first impression, right? So that operations manager, the owner, whoever it is, that comes to the shop and meets with us, that's kind of the first step. I mean, it's a little rough, the whole judge a book by a cover thing, but if you can tell somebody that has their act together, right? So we look for people that seem to have their act together when they come in. If they do, then we just go straight to our available properties report, and we say, okay, here's what we have available. Here's kind of where we'd like to be on money.
And you do this in person?
Oh yeah, as much as we possibly can. We try to do that in person because a couple reasons. We have a lot of shall we say, non-interest, right? So people will call up and say, hey, I know you got this or that or the other, or they may send in a form from the website or something like that. And if they're not willing to come to the office and talk to us, that's not a real good sign for us. We understand you're busy. That's fine. But at the end of the day, we are their customer, right? So if you're, we expect the same treatment that they would provide to any of their customers, right? So, it's pretty rare that, if somebody's in the lawn care landscaping business, that somebody says, hey, I'd like to talk to you about, maybe taking over my lawn account or building me a retaining wall. And if they say to their customer, well, I'm not going to bother coming and looking at your place, it's like, okay, well, you don't view me as a customer. You're not going to take care of me. So I don't want you to be my subcontractor because I'm hiring you to do a job no different than any one of your other customers. The difference is unlike any of your other customers, I'm going to give you material to use. I'm going to give you a tool to track your work. I'm going to protect you if you get involved in a slip and fall. There's a lot of things that I'm going to do for you that none of your other customers are. And if you're not going to pay me the courtesy of coming by the office to talk to us, this is probably not a good start.
Yeah, well, that's great.
Yeah, so
is there a set person they meet with, or is it like any of your admin can meet with them?
No, it's usually one of the three of us on the account management team.
Yeah,
okay. That'll take it and bring them on and go through the process.
Yeah, and then when they come in, through the SG Advantage system, we can say, what part of town you want to work in. And so they say, I want to work in the St. Louis area. Like, I want to work in South St. Louis. Okay, well, we can pull up all the properties in that area, and then we could say, and they say, well, how much equipment do you have? So we can kind of establish.
How do they come through the SG Advantage system?
So, no. So when they come in, SG Advantage, you can filter for properties. So, like, let's say.
Okay, got it. They're not like applying through the system.
No. But when they come in, SG Advantage will say, they say, I'm looking for, 1 to 2 acre properties, and I'm looking for maybe 2 or 3 of them, right? Okay. So we can filter down on our available properties and go to exactly what they're looking for, and tell them right then, hey, we've got this available or we don't, and from there it's just a negotiation process. I mean, it's are we a good fit for you? Sure. We don't ever try to find somebody that we generally don't beat people up on price. We say here's our budget. If you can fill it, great. If not, that's fine. It just is what it is. So and then we try to work through that and find an amicable solution that works good for everybody. And then generally what we find is people that start working for us, they work for us and they work for other national companies, and they have their own accounts, and it's kind of all spread out. And they really like the idea that when the day after the storm, they know exactly what they're going to get paid. They can decide whether they're going to pick up the check at the office or have it mailed. I mean, it's all automated through the system, and everything happens instantaneously. So we do really well with that. Those guys like that.
And I think another thing, if I could just interject, like this is another almost qualifying thing for a guy to come on to be a subcontractor of ours, is with the system that we're using. They have to receive an email, and they have to open that email, and then they have to go through a certain number of steps, right, to get brought into our system, so that I can see them, right? And so I had a few last year who, man, when I met with them, it was such a good fit. It felt like everything was going to be great. They just would never log in to do that part of the work. And I can see where there would be some reluctance maybe with my generation, or maybe it was a little bit older. But these people weren't my age. They were younger.
Well, right? You're old, dude.
I'm getting there.
I mean, damn.
I'm getting there, but I'm getting there. I'm not there yet. So that's almost like another qualifier in my book, right? I'm gonna send you an email. It's gonna come from SG Advantage. It's gonna say, we're inviting you to become part of our team. If you won't go through that process, it takes 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
For me, that's another qualifier right there. So just kind of, maybe that sounds a little ridiculous, but I got to get you in. There's only one way I can do that.
Well, and anymore, I mean, this day and age, you have to have a certain level of technical savvy just to even survive.
To survive, yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, so I mean, there's not a ton of genius in that. I mean, it's just constantly. I mean, everybody we talk to,
and there's a lot of legwork in there too, right? So you're kissing 20 toads before you find the prince. In other words,
I myself being, a toad.
Oh, me too.
Fine.
Yeah.
Not like local celebrity Jason Porto.
Right.
Quite not the toad. You know what? He's
Quite
the prince.
Ridiculous.
So, anything else you want to talk about or bring up, or topics or anything like that?
I mean, I could do this for forever, but yeah. What? You guys got anything new and exciting coming down as far as whether in your snowmobile business or software related?
We are always looking for cool stuff, right? And so we're a couple of years ago we've slowly gotten into parts and equipment sales, and so we're just about to bring on another line of product. It's not quite, there's no ink on that yet, so I can't talk about it a whole lot, but that's going to be really, 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 really cool. I'm really looking forward to that. And our something that I could give a big shout out to is on our operations team, Kyle and Porter are two guys that they are some of the hardest working dudes you've ever met, and they are really working on crown and parts and equipment and making sure that if somebody needs something, we've got that. And there's a I'm not even gonna call this a shameless plug. If you're looking for parts for snow removal equipment, you go to swinterparts.com. We actually know for a fact that we have the largest inventory of snow and ice management equipment parts in for sure the St. Louis area, maybe a much, much, much larger area by hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And oftentimes we'll either have an OEM solution or an aftermarket solution, sometimes both.
Yeah.
Right? So you can kind of decide which way you want to go with that.
And the object for us is to have it in stock. That's kind of why we got into it, was we were really frustrated when we need something. It's 2:00 in the morning. We need it right now. And, nobody's open. Nobody cares. And then when we get there in the morning, like, come on, can we please have this? Yeah, I can have it here in I can overnight it for $1 billion, or I can have it in 3 to 5 days. It's like, well, I don't need it in 3 to 5 days. I need it right now.
Snow right now.
Yeah. So that's kind of our thing, is we're trying to have everything in stock you could possibly need. So if you're in the St. Louis area, at least, come see us and check it out. Yeah. So, man. So. Yeah, you know what? And, here we are. Yeah, we're at time. So
well done.
You know what we're gonna do?
We had 2 special guests that episode.
We sure did. Did we get that guy's name? Do you know him?
Is Pat?
Pat. Okay, Pat joined us.
Yeah.
And we're not going to call his company out because he's not as cool or a local celebrity like Jason Porto.
No.
Of Ground Builders
He even
Inc.
admitted it. He wasn't a
That's
local
right.
celebrity. Yeah.
That's right. Well, Jason, man, thanks so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate it. This has been awesome. I'm going to try to get here during a snowstorm and hang out with you guys. So
that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, if we could, that'd be great. And of course, you're welcome to come down to St. Louis. Jason Dungan's here as well. I'm Ken Bogeman. This is Talking Winter with Swinter. This has been awesome. We're going to have some cocktails and look at the lake.
Yep. Thanks again to Jason Porto from Ground Builders Inc.
That's the one. See ya.
Bye.